right, we back and we just saw Wish. Thoughts?
Oh, the podcast. I could have written a better movie. Like, it was fine. I feel like it needed like 6 more drafts, and we could have maybe got somewhere. But like, I would kept being, I would get into it, and then something would happen, and I'd be like, ha, and I like remembered I was watching a movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
They didn't have a like narrative flow, or I can't even describe it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't caring about those characters. It was just almost too much of like Disney jerking themselves off. Is what it felt like.
They were like, we don't have to do any work, because instead we could just like rip off everything we've ever done
for 100 years. Like, and that's exactly what it felt like.
Right. And not like an homage. I wasn't like,
No,
I wasn't like, how lucky am I to be watching this thing? Instead it was like, I've seen this
like Beautiful Legacy.
Yeah.
It was not like that.
It was not like that at all. I was like, okay.
It killed me.
It's fine. No, the mushrooms looked weird.
I was
like
feeling the mushrooms. That was an enjoyable part for me.
I felt like, but the animation style, I feel like whoever made that movie had never held a camera. Like, so like none of the shots were good. Like, I get that they don't hold a camera in animation, but like when they were just kicking little people all the time, I was like, nothing here looks fun.
Okay, that was an annoying shot. I feel like they did keep coming back
No,
to.
every time. I was like, what are you doing?
But I thought they had a couple of okay shots in there, actually.
Yeah. You'll say it. Okay.
Moments.
It had enough that I kept being like, oh, maybe.
Like, you'll keep watching, but you're still like, what am I even watching?
No, for sure. No, it felt like a situationship. Like, I was like, okay, you're giving me something. And then, like, it would never give me enough. But I was like, I'll go back to her. Like, she was nice.
No, that was killing
Remember
me.
when she had a good chorus? That's cute. And they go, liar, liar, liar. And I was like, oh, okay.
None of those songs were, okay, the Star song, maybe.
No,
but
right?
that's because it was, like, well written, I guess. Like, strategically, I feel like written.
Yeah. No, some of
the rest of those songs were trash.
I can never remember what. Some of the songs were, like, not, like, I was like, the song is fine. Why is it here? Like,
yeah, oh my, that was every single song except the Star one was like, why is it here?
Why is it here? I don't understand.
And like, I feel like they were almost using the songs in order to like set up a situation versus them talking about the situation that is already at hand. Like, why did my guy break out in the song when he's first like meeting her and introducing her to the wishes?
No, and it was a love song. Like,
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I could have sung that song at a wedding and nobody would know. Like, it had said nothing about the world. Like, it just was a love song.
And it wasn't about the situation though either. And I'm like, but you know, like maybe a song about following your dreams or like becoming an apprentice to the king, or I don't know. It was like none of that. They're just like talking.
No, it was none of that.
They killed me.
No. They also, and I know I said it during the movie, but like they kept having groups of people and then not having harmonies. Even at the end, they're all singing in like the same note. And I'm like, it wouldn't be that hard to like add a little bit of.
But I don't know who wrote these songs, but they did not do it. You know, because the song, there wasn't a through line.
Yeah.
In order to like really hold it together. And I feel like they could have played so much more with the king as the villain.
Yeah.
But they almost hammed it up at the beginning that he was going to be the bad guy. Like, first they hammed it up too far that, like, I'm here to protect your wishes in song form. And then, boom, they drop, like, no, he's an ass.
No.
They just run with that.
No, everything happened, like just events were happening in a scene.
It was crazy.
Like, okay, I guess.
It was, and then, like, she's pissed off, and she's, like, super pissed off, and I'm like, aren't we just, like, 10 minutes into this movie? Like,
no.
What just happened?
And then her parents are mad at her, but then her dad's dead. Like, I kept being like, what? I didn't so much was. They kept the amount of times they told us that bitch was 100 years old. The amount of times
my God, I know.
He's 100 years old.
Because Disney is 100. I just put that together.
Yeah, no, they were like, bro, do you know? Do you know that it's 100? Are you sure?
I just put
we'll keep telling you.
And he was literally Disney personified. I did not even. I'm gonna keep going forever.
No, literally.
That was crazy.
I don't know if I can inspire the children.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Maybe. That's why people aren't going
played
around.
himself.
That's what I was wondering.
Well,
I was like, oh, are you right? No, I can autocorrect.
Yep. Character-wise, I did like the king though.
I felt like, okay, I liked him, and then he'd go, I'm so sexy. And I would be like,
I thought that was a fun way to make a villain. It's like it's corny, but in a certain way, he was almost like a classic Disney villain.
Yeah.
To a T almost.
No, he also Chris Pine's just really good at what he does.
That was Chris Pine.
That was Chris Pine.
Okay, he was
he was like, hey, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna
crush it. He was Chris Pine.
Yeah, he was Chris Pine.
And this is super weird, but I was feeling like throughout that film, and I don't know why, I'm not even making a shot at this guy, but that's how I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal would be in real life.
Oh!
Like who the king is, and I don't know why that is.
You're so right.
He just gave off that kind of
Jake Gyllenhaal would
super
be like
weird,
that.
but
dude, no, it's super. No, I felt like I had seen everyone before. Like, they weren't, like, new people. Like, Asha's, like, every other quirky... Yeah, she's just a quirky girl.
Then we had the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The Seven Dwarfs.
The Seven Dwarfs. If they had stuck to, like, a bit, if they were like, okay, this is the fairy godmother's origin story, I could have maybe bought that.
I could have maybe bought that, too.
But, like, instead, they did, like, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they did too much, in my opinion. And I like the wish thing, but again, they were it all just felt like trying to cram Disney into it. Because that's like, when you wish upon a star, literally that is what the whole film was about. But even the fucking star was corny. Like, he was my favorite character by far.
Yeah, literally.
But, cute little merchandisable little character.
But
what happened, like, he didn't really serve the story, in my opinion. Like, it could have been a good story for Asha to have to overcome this king with all this power and find some other type of magic, like the magic of good and wish and dreams and positivity. But a star just came out the sky and then became a toy.
And the theme of, like, you have agency over your life, and you get to go out there and you get to make choices, and, like, sometimes bad things happen, but I'd rather live a life than not live a life. Great theme. Like, but, like, you kept telling me about these little orbs and not, like, showing me people wanting big things and failing. Like, they were like, I tried to have a wish, and I was like, kinda. You, like, you, like, had something fall from the sky, and then we're like, yes. Like, it's a little different than being like, she didn't have anything she wanted. Her wish was, like, to have wishes.
Other people's wishes. It was like, but what was her goal?
Like, what do you want to do? Like, who are you? It's like when I network with film people, and they're like, I want to be like the next Scorsese. I'm like, right, but, like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to, like, do you like cameras? Like, I'm like, I don't know where you're at. I didn't know what she was doing.
I want to be famous is literally what they're
saying.
I want to be a star is what they're saying.
And the idea, okay, but also when they were like, we're all made from stardust.
Okay, that was weird because they didn't even stick with any, like, space or, like, galactic, you know what I mean? Like, it was so all over the place, but that song was slapping.
That song,
and I was hoping they were going to go that way.
Right,
and the animals started singing. I know that was an all-star cast. I don't know who the fuck the voices were.
No, I thought the same thing.
I thought that was everybody I wanted to hear.
I kind of think it was Troye Sivan, I'm not going to lie to you. There were a couple of voices, and I was like, some of you are cool bitches.
I might look that up on YouTube.
No, literally! I want to know!
I will say, that was a great song. They just dropped the ball on a couple of things though, and I think it had potential because Disney has a 100-year legacy.
Right.
But they tried to play into it too much rather than make it a subtle nod that everyone would be like, oh my god, I'm such a Disney fan because I noticed that. But it wasn't like that. It was like over the top, in your face.
No, instead he's saying mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the most handsome? Me. I was like, bitch can't even rhyme? Sure. I guess. No, it had a lot of potential.
So
it literally. It was pretty disappointing. Like, I kept getting my hopes up and being like, oh, this is cool.
Because I feel like they kept grasping at good story strands, and I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going, and then it just didn't go there. It's like, oh.
No, exactly. No, if like somebody I knew handed me that script, I'd be like, okay, this is a good start. Like, we have a solid foundation here. And somebody else said, no, we're done. We're done. I bet you they were like, you have 2 weeks to write a script, bye. Same with the music. I bet you they were like, 2 weeks, and they were like, here's my first draft. They're like, yeah, this is good, you're done now.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
And that is like what kind of made me mad was, I feel like they had a chance with this because I wasn't looking at it like, okay, Disney's been dropping the ball. For some reason, I was like, okay, it's their 100th, and this seemed like a decent movie, like, you know, but
it had a lot of potential the whole time. I kept being like, the world is interesting. Also, his backstory with his parents, I was like, what happened to your parents?
What the fuck happened to his? I thought that was gonna, to me, that was gonna make the movie. I was like, okay, when it gets revealed that maybe as a kid he already had a run across with the dark magic, or the guy who killed his parents used the same magic, and he became just like the people who he like was trying to protect everybody from. Like, there was so much.
And the fact that like he and his wife together like built this kingdom, and then she was like, yeah, you can kill my husband. I was like, what?
And that, I didn't like their dynamic at all.
No.
That wasn't fun. It was like she was like a classic Disney woman, like from the 50s or something. Like, whatever you say, honey, yes, you're the most great king I've ever seen, and you're really handsome.
No,
I'm like,
I was like,
what?
This movie set back feminism so much. Like,
and they tried to push it forward.
No, exactly.
Just,
no, they thought, they really thought they were doing
they busted
something.
a move, like, and me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally. I don't know how to win.
Oh, man, I wanted to love that so bad.
No, I kept being like, okay, I'm here, and then I was like,
I love that so bad.
I'm gone now. Like,
it had the potential.
No, I will say I probably will. Like, I'll shuffle the album and I'll be like, which one of you were good? I can't remember. But the things.
Yeah, that Star song was it.
That Star song was
like
hitting.
More, I just can't think of the other one.
Exactly. No, like the one where I'm looking at the stars or whatever. That one was fun. And then the one where they're like, you are a star. And I was like, okay, slay. But when they were like,
when it took a revolution.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
No, I was gonna throw up. Oh my gosh. Crazy shit. Again, every time I got comfortable and I was like, this is the world, this is what's happening, I'm ready, they would do some dumb shit.
And reset the rules.
No, literally!
It felt like they just kept resetting the rules.
Absolutely. I was like, why even have rules?
And also the magic was a cool concept, but when it came to the star and the king, I feel like they never described, like, why does the star have magic? Why does the king have magic? It just was like, I'm the only one with magic and nobody else can have any. Period.
So weird. They also kept being, okay, so the star is like having all the animals be able to sing. And then they said, oh, does the star grant wishes? And she said, no. And I said, but don't you wish upon a star?
Come on.
I was like, what are we doing?
And if the king could learn magic, could everybody not learn magic?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be on some like, you find the magic in you. And I'm like, okay.
No.
Didn't do any of that shit.
No, the star like gave her a wand. I thought she was gonna like within herself.
Isn't that
like
that's magic too? Like,
yep.
What is going on?
But it can't grant wishes.
But she couldn't give the power to grant wishes?
It was so dumb. When they like couldn't get the roof, I kept being like, why can't the star just open? It opened the magic door. Why can't it open the magic roof? Teamwork? Like, what?
And there were a bunch of kids. There was no way they were opening that door, period.
Literally. No, they just jumped, but then like the rope was too long for gravity to work, so they would have died.
I let that slide. I let that one slide, but I'm like, this literally makes no sense at all right now.
Also, all the characters, the one short dude was
grumpy.
Grumpy, so inconsistent. He'd be like, I hate everything, and then be like, I'm not a fucking narc. And then
he said, I'm not a narc.
I was like, what? And then he's like, I'm afraid of heights. And he's like, no, but I'll be the first one to jump. I was like, who are you? They just keep throwing all these lines at you.
And again, it was probably some Disney shit I was missing.
Right.
I feel like a lot of it was like them trying too hard. It's like, come on now, just give it to ChatGPT.
I feel like there's a YouTube video that's like 10 hours long that's like every single
every single like nod to Disney.
Yeah.
Well, and at the 4 hour, at like the 4 minute mark, you can see like who was that in the background?
Yeah, no.
They had the Peter Pan like 2 times.
No, they caught that's Peter Pan was so out of pocket. Like the fact that he was just there.
Just there.
In costume.
That was the only one to me that was too overt.
Yeah, it was
too
overt.
He wants to make a flying machine. Okay.
Also, why did he doesn't want to build I was like, you don't even know who he is. This one chick's like, I want to fly, and he's like, yeah, I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I forgot Bambi did make a guest appearance.
Bambi! No, was so... John the Bear came like 4 times.
Yeah, he was a main character. I'm like, what the heck? You ain't gotta worry about me. He just like shifts back into a bush.
It was so weird. No, the vibes were so... I would like, get comfortable and something would happen and I was like, I really feel like a millennial wrote the movie.
Because they were trying to go for like a wow... It was literally like meme moments inside the film, but it wasn't like... It wasn't working.
No, when they're like, and I flipped the pages and I had to... and he starts rapping. I was like, oh, wow. Felt like when like I dated a guy that like started rapping and like plays the music in the car and you're like, wow.
Hey, you gotta check the new mixtape.
No, literally. I was like his wife sitting there like, wow. You really did that. That's cool. Like I was like kind of vibing the song, but then his song was still like too happy for like a villain song.
His song was like, I don't know. None of the songs were just hitting right.
Nope.
Again, and the star song, but the star song was so out of place almost in the film. Like, it was talking about the stars. I get it, you're a star, but they were literally talking about like the galaxy and stardust.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like, is there gonna be like some connection with the king's power and the moon or something? Or like
exactly.
It seems like out of place.
It's so weird because like in like Moana, right? They're like, I want to come back as a stingray, and they go down mystical, but then it comes back at the end of the movie and they use the mystical stuff. So I thought that's what they were setting up. I also thought, why did the 100-year dude not die? Like I was like the stakes aren't hitting. Like
because Disney
won't die. This is true.
It didn't make any sense, and they just tried too hard.
No, they did.
It's like maybe they just need to stick to stealing, and not even like that. But it's like you pick a good story that already exists, and then you make the Disney version of it. Because this felt like they were trying to be original and pay homage to themselves, and they didn't nail it.
Nope, they did not nail it.
Because it didn't have like the heart of a lot of those like Disney movies. Like there's a heart and like an emotion and a strong undertone where you're like, okay, I can feel these stakes and I can feel these characters and I can feel everything going on. But I just was like, okay. I don't really like the king. It's like I like him as a character because he's funny, but I don't like who he is as a person, so I don't care what happens to him.
Right.
Asha's all over the place.
Asha was
She's just like
over the place.
Almost causing every single problem herself.
No, and then she's like, it's my fault, and you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, kinda.
Like she caused everything.
No.
And she did get the dreams out, great.
Right.
And I'll say there's nothing wrong with that, but it was kind of just her bumbling through the movie.
No, and then
I couldn't even really root for her.
They literally do the same shot as the first Spider-Man movie, and then she's like, but we are stars, and her friend who wasn't there for any of this, she's like,
any of the song knew the fucking song! I'm like, I get Disney. I was sitting there looking at that, and I was so happy the first time when she started singing and no one started singing. I'm like, okay, it still makes sense.
Yeah, no, literally.
She's just singing for herself because none of them would know this song.
None of them would know this song.
And then everybody in the whole place knows this song.
Yeah. The entire population of the kingdom.
Oh my god, like you can't do it like that.
Literally. No, did you like fax them the sheet music the morning of? Like how did that happen? And I get that it's a Disney movie, but like
but that just felt really out of place for some reason.
No, so weird.
Because that's when you like sing a new song about like rising up, and she's like starts singing the same song. Like, come on now.
No,
I get it. You want to make a theme, whatever. Rate it out of 10.
Out of 10, I'd give it like a 5-6. Like right there. What about you?
It's vicious. Okay.
Vicious? Wow!
I'm gonna give it. No, you are. I'm gonna give it a nicer rating than that.
Oh, really?
I gotta give it. I gotta give it the 7.
A 7?
Here's why. One, like while it was goofy, I did kind of like the Disney homage stuff.
Right. There were good moments.
I thought it was ruining the movie, but as far as what, you know what I mean? It did make me kind of like, oh, I remember that one. Or, oh, that's like this movie.
No, the credits were the best part. I mean, we stayed through the credits, which is like not a thing I do in movies
because
ever.
They were like flashing through 100 years of Disney, and I was like, interesting. I remember that movie. I remember that character.
Yeah, literally.
And that was hitting like the emotional strings, like. Even if everybody's dream was like some Disney thing that I could like be like, oh my god, that's that movie. Oh, that's that movie. Like, I want to be a mermaid, or I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could have connected with that.
I agree. Right, because I think Disney like made us dream as kids, right? So it's like, I watched Brave and I wanted to be a cool chick with a bow and arrow, but like that didn't happen. No, it was
Didn't happen yet.
You're right. I got time.
Make them wishes.
You're right. But instead, it was like the one thing we saw, like, the girl got a pair of scissors. Right? That was like the one wish we saw granted.
Yeah, and the Night Boy.
Oh, and the Night Boy.
But was
that his dream? I don't know if that was his wish.
No, I think that was his wish.
You think, and then they just kind of...
But he took advantage of his wish, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I want to serve this guy because I love the king. And then it's like, yeah, bro, serve me then. Okay. The 7 really, though, is the animation. That, for me, I'm an animation kind of person, and I loved what they did. Like, it started to bother me after a while, but I did like her hair and the physics of that and how they kind of made all that work.
Yep.
I like the 2D, 3D animation style that they somehow pulled off, where it had like the cell shading on the lines. It still looked 3D, but it was still giving me like a weird flat 2D feeling somehow. I don't know.
Right.
The star was really cool. I liked all the magic and how they were like showing it, how the actual like particles and everything were like. I think they did a great job visually.
I feel like the visuals for me were really hit or miss because it felt like they had all the pieces there. Like, there were moments and I was like, that's really cool. And then they would show me like the weirdest thing. Or like the mushrooms were super high def, but then something else wasn't high def. And so I was like, I wanted everything to look good. I think like it was the end frame of his circle song. Like the circle bubble things were like just in 2 lines by his hands. And I was like, we could do more.
That I agree. That got really annoying, actually. He had like 3 songs where he's just spinning the balls around. I'm like, bro, okay, we get it. You're the wish man.
Because some of the fairy tale style had so much detail in a lot of like the I don't know, the little, it just was very detailed.
Like the glitter and all the stars.
I was like, that could be cool. And then instead it just was like, you know, it was fine. For me, it was kind of inconsistent. I really wanted it to be as good as it could be the whole time. Because there were moments and I was like, that's gorgeous.
For sure.
Even like the coloring in the fucking chicken coop, I was like, that, like the colors were bright and there was a lot happening, even though it was a silly, but like there was a lot going on. And then we would be like sitting in the boat and I was like, why is it just 2 people in a boat? And I felt like there wasn't enough.
That scene where he was like about to wand his wife. And it was like, you know what I mean? That was like the first time I feel like it was feeling dynamic, and I feel like the lights were like, it was like it was red on him, and it was green from the thing, and it was like blue from I don't know what the blue light source was, but it was just looking good, and I'm like, okay, where's this going? Like that was when I started to feel it, but
I agree.
They dropped the ball.
And
they couldn't hold it.
There were some really good moments, and then like he gets put in the mirror, like when they're all the mirrors, I was like, okay, that looks like a lot, and then he gets put in the tiny mirror, and I was like, why is it a cell phone? Like, like I was like, this is all strange. They're like, hang this up in the dungeon.
Metaphorically speaking,
yeah.
I like that he got trapped. I wished that he died. Not to be like a butthead, but it was a stronger conclusion when I'm like, oh, you use the magic, and that's what they meant by it has your soul for eternity, is it just pulls you into this, like, you're not using the magic, it's using you.
Now he's just a crank in a mirror for eternity?
No, it was a stronger end when he had gotten absorbed by the darkness.
I agree. Even though it was kind of anticlimactic.
Even if they, like, showed him in there, like, oh, and they're, like, taking his soul or something, like, give me something, but it was, like, almost a happy ending still, and I'm like...
No. The stakes were like just not there. Like I was never worried for anyone ever.
Because there was no one's life was on the line.
Yeah, I agree.
Only the worst thing that happened is somebody went, ugh.
No, they went
grief.
I know what this feeling is. And I was like, right, because you've had like people die, and instead you had an idea that you haven't had in years just like vanish near you.
I'm sad.
No,
that was like
literally.
the worst thing that could happen is somebody's gonna be sad.
And you could be dynamic, right? So like if they grayed out. Trolls, when they lose their thing, they gray out, and you could be like, oh, that like you
would have been
it.
Yeah, so when he took their wishes and was like taking their cocaine wishes, like, it would actually have like a consequence, I guess.
Because we're like animated, so you get to do
whatever. Or they turn to stone, I guess.
Yeah, right. We're in a magic world, and instead they're just like,
he was definitely high off the wishes.
No, why was he being so weird?
Yes. You want to be? You want to fly? Well, yes.
Like, but also, I feel like that's because it's the only thing we saw happen when, like, I didn't necessarily feel like he got that much stronger.
Yeah, and he really,
just started feeling.
He wasn't even doing shit. Like,
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't hurting anybody. He was just like, I'm taking your dream from you. But like, he wasn't actually like doing anything evil to anybody. Like,
exactly.
That warranted all of this.
No, he didn't like grow a third arm every time. Like,
or even a third eye.
Yeah,
Damn,
exactly.
give me some evil shit. Like,
literally, no. Instead, he just like got. Like, he just felt cool.
Yeah, he got a hit a wish.
No, literally.
I need more of these. But it's like, okay, bro, but like...
yeah, also
what are you even gonna do with this power? Take more wishes, dude?
Yeah, what do you do when you run out of... Like, I didn't see... There were no consequences for anything. Nothing led to anything.
Even at the end, when I feel like they were trying to up the stakes a little bit, I'm like, literally... What he's doing right now is what he was doing the whole time.
No, also, whatever the animation was, it just looked like there
glue.
were things,
but
it wasn't touching their arms.
It wasn't touching them. It was like magic chains or something.
They hit the thing, like he went to hit the female dwarf chick, and then the wife like went, no, but how could you know if your hands are tied? I was like, the physics of whatever you're doing, they're not working.
I think she was immune to magic because she's the queen.
Oh, maybe.
That's gonna be,
That's gonna be the choice.
Yep. That'll appear in 100 years later in the like 200-year Disney book of facts.
The lore,
like,
yeah. It'll be like that one queen that you can't remember.
Yeah, remember that movie Wish that never made it to DVD or whatever the fuck it is, Blu-ray or any of the things?
It really is a bummer because it felt, I kept being like, oh, this is cool, and then something would happen and be like, no, it's not anymore.
Yeah, no, I feel like this was, I hate to say this was a Disney Plus movie that they tried to put in the fucking theater.
It was!
It's like, yo, y'all didn't put enough time into this. Energy, thought, like,
there
was no emotion. Like, you need to call like the OGs from Disney who were writing them old films, because
for sure. No, if someone had told me, hey, they made Cinderella 4 and it's the fairy godmother's thing.
This was Cinderella 4.
I would have been.
That's
and
the
then I
way to put it.
was sitting there on a Tuesday watching it. I would have been like, oh, this is good.
Yep.
But like, as the culmination of 100 years of content.
I would have loved this if this was like a Disney Plus find.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, they've done it again.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, I'm at home, I'm eating food, and like, you got me in the sweet spot. But like, no, I went to go see this in the theaters, and it was not the Disney movie.
Right, there were 6 people clapping at the end, and then I felt like a dick.
There was only 6 people in the whole theater. So.
It was so weird.
I will say Frozen is still the last one that was a hit.
Really?
They haven't come with some heat since Frozen.
I liked Frozen 2 a lot. Actually,
I take it back. Okay, but Frozen 2 is Frozen,
but it's
still
Frozen.
Yeah,
but Frozen 2's fire.
That was a good one because they literally took a character you already knew and explored it even deeper. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like,
no, literally, the boat water scene. Oh, so when they're like water.
No, they did that one well.
No, it was so
They did that
good.
one well.
I was just talking about that movie today. I'm not even kidding. I was like, remember Frozen 2 and how good it was?
They should have just came with Frozen 3 and not even joked themselves like with some goofiness.
Instead of whatever this. No, I really haven't. I mean, I don't know when Moana was. Moana was good, but it still isn't like. I wasn't changed, you know?
Yeah, and it was just, to me, that was a star power movie.
Yeah.
And that gets old.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll just have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it, and everybody's gonna say.
Did you hear that they're making the live action, and he's gonna be in the live action? Like he's like producing
sad?
What?
Is I bet that was the fucking plan the whole time.
I wonder.
That's what bothers me about Hollywood. Is like I'm sure that The Rock had already signed the deal when he was like, "Y'all come on, as long as I can be Black Adam."
He apparently said he like needs like because people were like, hey, like it's a little soon to like have the live action come out. And he was like, but I need it to come out before my kids are too old to watch it. I was like, really?
That's not a good reason to sabotage the rest of the kids on the planet.
No, literally.
He's literally the king we just saw.
2 children. Yeah, literally. No, literally.
No, I decided. Okay, Rock.
It's gonna come out later that it wasn't Chris Pine. It was The Rock the whole time.
I'm mad at that. I need to go eat. We out.
We out.